Hey, Brian King here. Well, as you all know by now, Donald Trump has been elected our next president. And there are a lot of feelings about this. I have my own feelings. This is not the way I expected things to go, but it is the reality. And surprisingly, is not only the questions that I've received from fellow Americans here, but some of the messages I've been getting from my international friends. People from the UK especially, because they're one of our closest allies. And the feeling of shock is pretty global here. It's not just, the states here or the people that are feeling immediately affected. The world is concerned about this. But it is the reality, as I said. And I've had the privilege of talking to a couple of my international friends this morning. And the consensus is pretty clear that now is the time to focus on what you stand for as an individual. Because whoever we've elected to be the representative of what it means to be a resident of the United States, an American, and so on, regardless of who we've elected, the buck stops here, okay? Who you decide to be in this world, how you decide to show up, the stuff you decide to post on Facebook, I don't care how lousy of a day you're having. And yeah, we all slip. We're human beings. We're going to have those moments of frustration where we're not thinking as clearly as we can, and we're going to post something that we wish we hadn't. Well, go back and delete it. But when you're thinking long term, for the entire day, not just those moments, for the entire day, for the year, how are you going to show up? Are you going to be a champion for intolerance? Are you going to keep othering people? It's those people that are taking the jobs. It's those people that are making me uncomfortable. Is that really the world that we want to create? Is that the world that we want to sell ourselves on, that we live in? Is that the world that we want to invite other people to join us in? Hey, I'm feeling, like a little discriminatory today. Feels kind of good. Who wants to join me? Is that really what we want to do? Do we want our legacy to be that we were bitter, that we were bigoted, that we thumbed our nose at somebody else and say, get out of my yard, this is my stuff? Is that really, really who we want to be? And don't give me the nonsense about, well, this person did this and this person did that, and, Benghazi and, all this other garbage. I don't care. Somebody else's choices do not determine who you're going to be in this world. If you want to live and be reactive and play the victim, which I think in many ways dictated the outcome here, then of course that's your right. You're a human being. Nobody can tell you what to do or what to believe. But I'm asking you sincerely, is that who you want to be? Is that who you want to raise your children to be? To be the next generation of blamers, the next generation of victims who hate, who belittle, who judge. Because that's one of the fundamental opportunities we've been given, is to decide who we want to be. Do we want to be someone that looks upon their neighbor as less than, somebody who's a threat, someone who needs to be excluded? Or do you want to see your neighbor as somebody who you need to extend your hand to and say, we're in this together? We're both citizens. We're both trying to make our way. We're trying to raise our kids. We're trying to make a living. How can we support each other? Not how can we blame one another? How can we be jealous? How can we be vindictive? How can we help? How can we support one another at living the best possible lives, at being the best possible human beings that we can be? Because our kids are watching. They're listening to our every word. They're watching our every action. And if they turn out to be very sour human beings, a lot of that's on them. But we plant a lot of those seeds, and we need to own that. We need to take responsibility and decide right now, who are we going to be? How are we going to show up? no matter who's in charge. So that's my challenge to you today. I want to encourage you to think about that. And I want you to comment below this video and tell me what you think about this, because I've got your back. I always have. I always will. I am here to help. I'm here to support you, because we are in this together, come hell or high water. This is Brian. We'll talk again soon.